Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
I've been with EXP for 3 years and on Gary's team the whole time and capping and all that. And it's made a big difference. I was with Keller Williams for 17 years before that. So I wanted to talk about how to get listings by meeting up with people face to face and gaining their trust, because the trust part is the most important part. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Here we are.
Oh, Angela's on too. Hi, Angela.
Okay, so I call it Hello to Sold because, can everybody hear me? I call it Hello to Sold because you're actually meeting the person face to face. And I find that when I do that, I had someone recently say to me, after they signed the contract and I was getting the key, they said, you know, my sister knows another real estate agent and my friend recommended somebody, but I already know you. And this is somebody I really don't know, but that's how she feels. I gained her trust. She met me, and so that's what happened. So what I'm going to be talking about is how to create the trust, developing a relationship, and letting them know who you are. And those are all things that you can do when you're meeting them in person, where you can't do the same thing on the phone. And I mean, it's much harder because on the phone, they have no idea who you are, and so they're going to probably interview other agents. I find that usually when I'm meeting someone in person and then we go for an appointment, I'm the only agent that they're interviewing. So creating trust relates to, having them tell you what they're thinking. I always say, tell me your story. And then listen. And active listening is something I want to get into a little bit, but it really involves really being there for the person and really just listening and saying, yes, things like that every once in a while. And then paraphrasing what they just said, repeating what they said, and then putting it into your own words. And at that point, they'll say, that's right. And if you want more information about this, I actually read a book called, it's by Chris Voss. Some of you probably have read it. It's called Never Split the Difference. And he was a hostage negotiator, so he really knows how to gain trust. And I think, and there are things in that book, I've used some of these ideas with people that were very difficult at first. After I gained their trust, they weren't, but they had very bad experiences with other real estate agents. And I listened and I repeated what they said, paraphrased, and then moved on. And that's how, and then they listened with me. And then what I do also, when I first meet somebody, when I'm talking to them a little bit, then I'll say things like, I went into a listing appointment, I said, and it was an area that was probably an hour from where I live, not where I usually work, but I said, and this is true, I mean, you don't make up stories, you tell the truth. I said, my mother lived in Brooklyn and she used to come here in the summertime. Her uncle had a farm here and it meant so much to her, so it just gives us something like who I am. It's giving that sense of something, and it means a lot to people. So I have a video that I created it. I don't know if you're going to hear the sound or not, but I'm going to try to share it with you.
when you do that, Deb, you'll see a little thing down towards the bottom. You can click on it. It says optimize for video, and
Oh,
Zoom will optimize it so it comes across. But I don't know what it will like look like on your computer, but
let me see if I can get there.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it under more? Oh, video? Is it video?
Yeah, I'm not, well, you still
No,
have to share. You still have to, let me make sure you're still promoted there. You should still be promoted to co-host. Yeah, you're co-host. So
where
you
do
still
I,
want to share?
where do I find
Oh, I'm
that?
sorry, go ahead.
Where do I find the optimize?
It
I
should be
can't
under
remember
the
if it's
share.
What?
under the share.
Under share?
Oh, go ahead, PF. Mhm.
Yeah, it should be under your share. Like what screen to share, what media to share. When you click on the share,
Yeah.
it should give you options. And
Oh,
towards the bottom, you should see optimize for video.
advanced sharing options, maybe? Let's see.
That
I
could
don't
be
see
it.
I don't see it. I'm gonna play it, and if if it doesn't work, it
Okay.
doesn't. But I just made this yesterday to, can you see this? Are you seeing a black screen?
You have to hit share again. Yep. I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay,
how you unshared, but you got to start from scratch with sharing
okay.
because yeah, they're seeing my screen
I
now.
see, okay. So I made this video yesterday to illustrate active listening.
Hey, Deb,
Yeah,
do you still see the green? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah,
It's coming
yeah,
across now.
yeah. So I think you could see it. Developing trust. Do you all see that?
Hmm.
Hi. Looks like you have a lot of nice items there.
Thanks.
Are you cleaning up for any particular purpose?
Yeah, we're downsizing.
Oh, how's that going?
Well, it's a project.
So it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
It sounds like it could be very exciting, but maybe is it a little bit nerve-wracking? Would you say?
It's both. We're really excited about moving on in our lives in the chapter. But it's also getting rid of a lot of things we've had. It's not easy to find.
So you're having separation anxiety, it sounds
With
like?
my Dutch.
Yeah. And have you really looked into how you're going to be moving along with this process?
Somewhat, we're thinking about whether it's single family fire. We're not really sure yet.
You have a lot of options, it sounds like,
Maybe
right?
too many.
And you need to sit down and really think about it.
Need some focus.
And have you thought about yourself in the past?
Of course.
Yeah. This is something that I can help you with because I've helped a lot of folks who are moving and downsizing.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm a real estate agent,
Oh.
so I could give you a market update for your house. Would that be helpful?
How much it's selling for in this time?
Would you like to know that? Okay, so you'd like to know what your house would sell for?
Sure. What to ask?
Okay, the way that I do that is we could set up a short appointment in your house.
Uh-huh.
I could look at it, give you and bring comparable listings that sold in your neighborhood. And then we could sit down and come up with the price.
Okay, well, of course, I want my wife to be involved.
Oh, absolutely. That's
More than half the equation.
so. When would be a good time?
Later this week.
Okay. Do you want to talk to your wife and I'll give you a call tomorrow and
Yeah,
see when we can set
find
it
out what
up?
her schedule is. And if time will work for you.
Okay, great. That sounds good.
Thanks.
How does that sound to you?
That's good. We usually find out what's happening.
Okay, good. Oops.
Awesome. Thank you.
Were you able to hear that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
So now I have to go back. Oh, there, stop share. And I'm going to go back to, I'm going to share again.
Okay. Hey, Deb, was that Joe?
That's Joe, yeah. That
Oh,
was,
cool. Tell him I said
yeah.
hello.
Okay,
Mhm.
whoops, that's not what I want to share. Stop share.
Before you share again, go ahead and click on the section you want to be on that you want to share, and then do the share function.
Oh,
And
okay.
then click on the upper left-hand panel after you click share, and it'll always show what screen that you're actually on, you know.
Oh, okay. You're a professional.
I've just done it 5 million times. So,
Yeah,
so,
okay,
but there's still a lot I don't know, you know.
yeah. Let's see. I'll play from concert. Okay,
There you
so I showed you that. And okay, so now I'm going to tell you about places where you can meet people. I actually met someone, I did pretty much that I mean, that was my husband. We were just play acting there, but I actually did that when someone was setting up a garage sale and stayed in touch with him. 7 years later, I listed his house and sold them a house. So it does work. I mean, I just went over and said the same thing. Are you thinking about selling? Okay. This is another thing that I did. Give workshops at assisted living homes or retirement villages. They are all looking, a lot of them haven't sold their home. And a lot of it is, they don't know what to do with their stuff. So if you have solutions, and I interviewed people who are professional, I don't forgot what they're called, but they actually go in the home and they sort through the items and with the owner or without the owner, and then the house is ready to sell. Another one that is really good is local fairs or shows, craft fairs, farmers markets, bridal shows. But what you need to do is find a show where other realtors are not going to go. So you want to, I mean, the local town fair, you're going to see 5 or 10 real estate agents there. So you're not going to get the attention that you need. You want to go to like a farmer's market, just look around, because usually you don't see real estate agents at a farmer's market. But that would give you the opportunity to talk to people. And usually it's sellers, it's people who own a home. Bridal shows is one where you can get buyers. And a lot of people, other realtors are not going to bridal shows, you'll see. And you can go to the show the year before if you want, or go to a show similar to that, and then go the next month to another town. Give workshops. People are very interested, real estate is now in the news all the time. And people are very confused. I mean, the media is confused, as everybody can see. But if you can give a workshop on the current state of the market, people are very interested in that. Joining groups, Elks or female entrepreneurs or an entrepreneur group, anything that, you'll find there might be other real estate agents, but you want ones where there are few real estate agents. And then you can offer to give a workshop there. First-time home buyer workshops, first-time home buyers are so confused. And especially if you can hook up with a mortgage person who can give down payment assistance. And then Gary has these great letters that it's one letter. I mean, I was a little confused, but then I sat down with Gary and went over it. There's a letter that you send out the same letter 12 times and to the same people. So you make a list and you do it through Real Flow, and they will get you the person's address, phone number, email address, and you send it out, and then you call them. The important thing is that you call them. You don't expect that somebody is going to call you. I mean, they may call you, but usually you have to call them, and I have two people that are going to list in the fall from those letters. So it works.
Hmm.
Here's what I wanted to also show you, steps to gaining the lead. So I put this picture on here because this is the wrong way to do a show. This person, the person on the right, at least is standing up, but the person on the left, you know, I'm sure you've gone through two shows where the people are sitting behind a table and either they say nothing to you or they say hello. That's not going to get a lead. What you need to do is stand in front of the table and have and ask leading questions. Find a question like, do you know my marketing technique, for example? And they're going to say no. So that leaves you the opportunity to say, oh, come into my booth and let me tell you more about how I sell houses. That's what you want to do, is find, and the same thing when you're at any other kind of event, that the ones that I just listed, like even at a club gathering kind of thing. I mean, I found that for a long time, I was trying to figure out what to say to people, but I found that if I say, do you live nearby? If I'm in the supermarket, I could say that to someone, do you live nearby? And that will start the whole conversation. That's all that you want to do, is get them to start talking. And then you want to get their contact information. Giving your card out is not going to do anything for you, because unless you get their information, you want to get their name, address, phone number, and email address, and people will give it to you. It's really has surprised me, but people will give it to you, and you can say, well, I can set you up in an automatic email. You give them something of value. Oh, and the other thing is, when you're at one of those shows, think about who you want to attract to your booth. You don't want everybody coming, so you don't want to be giving out chocolate candy. That's, you see people doing that, and that's just going to attract anybody to show up, and they're not necessarily buyers or sellers. So what you want to just do is have a card to give them. I had a card with a QR code that went right to my CRM, and then sent them a market update. So then I had all their information right there. So here's what you want to do. You want to follow up, because the way that I was able to get a sale after 7 years was that I had them in my CRM, and I would call them every once in a while. I mean, and it ended up that they were people that grew up in it, close to the neighborhood that I grew up in. So there was an arcade that I went to, and they went to the same arcade. So that was something that we could really talk about. We had a whole conversation about that. What you want to do once you get their contact information, put them on a spreadsheet and your CRM with a campaign, and then text them the same day. And the campaign might be different for different people. Then you want to actually call them, text them, or email them at least once a month. You want to stay in front of them, because they'll forget you. If you don't stay in front of them, they won't remember you, and they will buy or sell with somebody else. And sending them market updates is something that people really value. I went the wrong way. Okay, so then now you're at the listing appointment. And I've done listing appointments in, I've been doing this 20 years. I've done listing appointments many different ways. People really don't want to hear about EXP, the history of EXP. They don't care about that. They don't want to hear about, all your college degrees or whatever it is, They want to know that that you've been in real estate for 20 years is something, but you can, if you just started today, you can say, my team has been selling houses for the past, whatever you feel comfortable saying. And we are a team, we help each other. So what I do is I get there a little early, I sit in my car and I visualize success. I visualize the end of the appointment. I visualize us smiling, we're all smiling, we're shaking hands, we're happy that we talk to each other. I mean, and I let it come. I don't just force it. I let the picture come. But I sit there and it really gives you a positive feeling. You walk in there positive and with more energy. Then I greet them at the door and I say something positive about their house, whatever it is. I like your door. You have great curb appeal. I like this bush, something, you can always find something. Or this, even if it's a wreck, and they know it, this would be great for a contractor to fix it up. And then what they're really interested in is how much can I get for my house? So really be prepared with comps and do it within depending upon the area, it should be within either half a mile or 5 miles if you're in the country. And then go over all the comps with them so that, and what you want them to say, this is what they say to me. I can see you really prepared. I can see you did a lot of work. So then they see that that improves how much value I have. And then they'll say, so I give them a range. Because we don't know the exact number that it will sell for, but what I do is I price a little lower than the top prices. Because what I've been doing actually is selling houses in 3 days and getting over asking and getting multiple offers. Because the price is low enough that we get all the buyers coming. And we tell them that the owner's expecting over asking. So then the next thing in the appointment is they're going to say, well, what should I do to, what would you suggest I do to my house? And I always say, after we sign the contract, we'll go around the house and I'll let you know what makes sense to do. Because that's, sign the contract is a close, number one, but it's also saying, I'm not going to be doing this unless we sign the contract, because have done it in the past and then they go to somebody else. It's not what I came there for. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, so that is the end of what I have, but I'll take any questions that you have. And if you want to contact me, there's my contact information. So
Okay.
should I stop sharing?
Yeah, go ahead and you can, I'm not sure what that, oh, there you go. So
Okay.
couple things I just want to point out is, in every instance, you're positioning yourself to have that direct one-on-one contact. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if you think about it, I'm sorry, go ahead, Deb. I'm going to bring up the team website and show everybody that document, but
Yeah, I think that's important.
let's see. Here we go. It's so funny because this literally came up today on a podcast interview. I was the host and I was interviewing this guy. I mean, you guys will likely meet him because he might teach a class for us, but um, we were talking about the different levels of clients. Let me go to marketing and the different levels of marketing. So if you click on this right here, guys, and so if you're on the team, you have this. If you're part of Silver Plus, you have it too. So go into the marketing tab on the team website, click on client and marketing graphics. And this is what I want to bring up. So if you think about the categories of your sphere, your inner circle is group number one, the people you know and love the most, right? The second group of people is people, you know them, you would see them, talk to them in the grocery store, your acquaintances, right? And the third group you probably really don't know. So it's the three levels of clients. And then in marketing, there's four levels of marketing. But look at what Deb has been able to do. She did level one marketing, which is direct communication, directly in person or over the phone. Um, level two is still direct, but it's not in person. It's not personal. It's not over the phone or in person. It's a text and emails, so forth and so on. And then level three, you're going into like your booklets and flyers and things like that, where you might be handing out a flyer, but it might be to a homeowner you really don't know yet. So, in any case, what I'm getting at is this: Deb engaged in level one marketing with literally all three of these categories here. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
she turned some threes into twos and twos into ones. Like I know for her technique of going to a yard sale, garage sale. See, I already know that because Deb and I speak, probably once every couple of weeks. And I remember when she actually did that, and I thought that's ingenious. But I never thought of that before. But the key is, well, I just asked you guys this. So this is for everybody, whether you're a guest or on the team. Type in the chat box the answer to this. But of the levels of marketing, level one being the most direct and in person, level four being the most indirect and not in person, which one of those is going to get you greater results? One, two, three, or four? So just type in the chat box what your answer is. Okay. And then the second question is, if you look at the levels of your sphere, inner circle, middle, and outer circle, of those, no matter what marketing you're doing, which group of people is most likely to respond to what you're doing? One, two, or three, and then type that in. And let's see what kind of answers we get. Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. Why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. Right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, let's just talk. Smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You've got to decide, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live. So 111. Yeah. I probably made it pretty easy for you to guess right on that one. But the reality is, guys, here's the math behind this. All right. A lot of agents I've met over the years, I've been doing this, investing for 38 years and a broker for 22 years. A lot of agents will inevitably go into Facebook and start spending money on marketing. They'll do postcards. That it's all level 3 and level 4 marketing, which is the least effective. It's the most money and the least effective. Okay. And they're ignoring on the sphere part, they're ignoring their number ones. And the biggest objection I hear from agents when it comes to communicating with people in your inner circle is, well, Deb, let me ask you, I know what my objection was when my broker asked me to communicate with those people directly. Do you remember how you felt when your broker said you need to start with your friends, neighbors, and relatives? What your first initial emotion was?
They won't want to list with me. And, the thing is, I have had my brother and my son, both bought houses through me, but there are plenty of people that I know, that haven't. And, so I just have to keep meeting new people. That's really what it comes down to. And meeting them face to face.
Yeah. So back to the diagram, guys. This will really help you understand marketing is in order to meet people, you have to engage in some level of marketing, right? Now, I'm not saying don't ever do level 4 marketing. The level 4 marketing, honestly, should be the last thing you do. Because it usually costs the most money and it provides the less response that does bring people to you. On Facebook, people will start liking and sharing and commenting on your post, for example. Or you could run an ad or send out a giant postcard campaign. You get some responses. Well, those people would be number 3s on your database. You want to add them to your database. Okay. All right. Now, of course, level 3 marketing is a little bit closer. Now you can start sending them flyers. You can target them specifically on Facebook because now you're connected to them. You can send them Facebook messages, right? You could even send them letters. Level 2 is a little more intimate. Now you feel more comfortable texting, emailing, and so forth. Level 1, absolutely, you want to get them on the phone. And if you think about this, every time you do that, you're moving someone from level 3 to become a level 2 prospect. And from level 2, they become a level 1 prospect. That's what Deb did. That's what she was saying. Okay. So that's why marketing is a sequence, right? It's not just I think I'll try a booklet campaign this month and see what happens. Or next month, I think I'll try the letter campaign and see what happens. Now let's be candid with each other, and I'll raise my hand twice. Who's ever done that? Say to herself, let's try this and see how it works. And then you do it once because you don't do it again because it doesn't work. That's because marketing is a momentum business. It is a sequence business. You have to keep doing it every single month, over and over and over and over again. So in any case, I feel like I'm starting to preach. I better stop. But
Preachers in the house.
there you go. But I'm telling you,
Raise the roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to think of it as a business. Think of it in those terms. And when you do, by the way, let me go back here real quick. The marketing sequence document, which is this, it says step-by-step guide. It literally shows you what marketing you should be doing at what level of business you're at. If you're beginning, just getting started, you should just be doing level 1 marketing. Number 1 is get everybody you know in your database, no questions asked, no objections. You just add them. Uncles, aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews, friends of your children, children of your friends, whatever. Um, your first campaign. Now we now have some really nice systems like KV Core. KV Core is probably the most remarkable marketing system that I've seen in all the years I've been in business. It's just so comprehensive. You can do everything, including the booklet campaign through KV Core. But there's other marketing in KV Core. The bottom line is that's a direct campaign with something that can be highly personalized if you really work on it, right? The letter, getting listings, that's a letter campaign, right? The letter campaigns were the first things we have people do once their database is built. But if you notice, building your database is number 1. I would never have anybody do any marketing. I wouldn't approve of it, if you will. I'm not saying you can't do it without my permission, but I wouldn't condone it, any other marketing, unless your database is fully loaded. Then your marketing is going to be a lot more effective. Okay, then you can start working on if you want to do some print media, things like that. Level 2 is when we get into Facebook and things like that. So the marketing sequence document shows you which marketing works well with other marketing. For example, back at level 1, the letter and the booklet work very well together. The 2 campaigns work well together. So in any case, I want to turn it back over to Deb. I just want to remind you where you can review this fundamental information and then you have a better idea what marketing you can and should do. And one more thing, and I'll turn it back over, Deb, is some of it does sort of depend on your disc profile. All right. So I know, for example, people who are a high C or high S generally do not want to get on the phone too much, but you still should do it. We can just position you so that you're not making phone calling the first thing you do. I might have you send a letter first. In fact, Deb said that earlier. That was one of the things that she did. She would send a letter and follow up with a phone call. Send a letter, follow up with a phone call. Send a letter, follow up with a phone call. So let me turn it back over to you. And guys, if you have questions, take advantage of the opportunity here. Not, I remember I'm one person. You got people like Anna and Deb and Shastine, other people on the team that are killing it right now, and you have access to them. So
Gary,
okay,
can you promote me to a panelist? It's Kay.
but promote you to panelist. Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
I
already
can't
a
use the chat.
panelist.
Well, I could, my chat's disabled. There we go.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. There you go. Okay, okay. Good to see you, Kay.
Thank you.
How's everything at home? I don't, not sure how much you want me to, you know. I just got your
Everybody's
right to your
home.
text.
Everybody's home and healthy.
Good, hallelujah. All right.
So
So
I wanted to say something about the letter. That once with the two people that I am going to be listing, one of them, she had the letter in her pocketbook. She was walking around with this letter, and the thing about the letter is, and for people who feel a little uncomfortable about cold calling, it actually ends up being me. And of course, you're going to get people who say, never call me again. But the people that respond, they feel like they know you already because you sent out a letter, and that letter is not like the do you want to sell your house letter. It's really put in a very nice way. And the other person that I'm going to list, her husband, I had her husband's phone number. So he texted me and said, get in touch with my wife. Here's her number. So I had probably 3 or 4 contacts with them. And when I finally had a phone call, she called me and she said, I'm definitely going to list with you because I can see that you're a real go-getter and you're staying on top of things and, that type of thing. I mean, everybody's not going to have that response. You get people that hate that you contacted them, but that, so what? You have to get how many no's do you need to have before you finally get a yes? You do need to go through no's. And the letter helps people to get to know you.
yeah, well, it makes the first phone call technically not a cold call because you've already sent them something.
Right.
They're going to recognize your name. I mean, it's just sometimes it's weird, guys. Marketing is one of those things where you could hit it out of the park on one iteration, one send of a letter, one round of phone calls. And the next time it's blank. You get nothing. Then you do it again, you get more. There's no science to tell us why that happens. It's just kind of a random thing. But that's why you keep doing it. Remember, the letter and the phone call combination is not meant to be done just once. Chances are you might get lucky, but chances are you've got to do it 4 or 5, 6 times. The rule is to do it 12 times. I don't believe anybody on the team's ever done it 12 times. If you have, please raise your hand because I want to commend you for doing that. But generally, I mean, would you agree, Deb? Generally, after you've done maybe half dozen rotations, you'll probably get a new file from ReallyFlow,
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
So does anyone have any questions
let's see.
or
Chat box.
comments? I'll take comments too.
So Kay's asking, how many letters do you send per week or per month?
Well, Gary, what I was confused about with the letters, and that's why, I mean, I just the session on letter writing with you is you send the same letter, it's different than what everybody else says. Send the same letter 12 times, but you have, let's say you send out 20 letters and you reach five of those people. So you take them off of that list and you add 5 more people to your list, and then you send out 20 the next week and make those calls. You know, that's the way that you recommended it. And then it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Well, one thing I could recommend, guys, is with the letter, let's say you sent 2 letters and your response was really low, or two mailings of the same letter to the same group of people. Before you send the third one out, what you can do is print out uh, do like a CMA, a very informal CMA. Just print out 3 sheets of paper. One would be the summary of the active listings in the area. That's the first one. The second page would be the summary of what's sold in the last 90 days, 6 months, something like that. And the third would be what's currently under contract, just the summary. So you get like 1 line per property. And you can put a little yellow sticky on the letter and say, I attached a printout of what's currently pending, active, and what's sold for properties just like yours, right? And you can circle it, initial it, whatever, and then on the printouts, if you really want to go getter, circle the ones that are closest to their property. Okay, like number of bedrooms, how many garage spaces, that kind of thing. I guarantee you'll get more responses that. And then let's say you do 4, 5, and 6 on the 6th one. You could put in a recent article, something about real estate, something about the area, something about interest rates, what have you. And a final one, I didn't do it a lot, but I did it and it works. And my broker told me I was nuts. I would print out a sheet, just a summary sheet of my active buyers, but only by last name. I wouldn't give them first name or email or phone number. I just said, these are my clients who are actively looking to buy now. One time I actually printed off the whole thing, 167 people, and circled the ones who were actively buying. And that worked, getting a higher response rate. So those 3 ideas, you can keep the letter the same wording, just add in, don't do them all 3 at the same time, but on different mailings, include the article, the list of your clients by last name, and just circle them if you want. And the other one, the first one was, active pending sold printouts that you put in there. So, any case, we've got some more questions coming in, Deb. So let me go back to this. New agent. This is Miles. So Miles, the good news is the Really Flow system already has ready-made letters for you. They're mechanically produced, so it's actual ink. It's not laser printed, so it's real. It looks like it's really handwritten. And our team letter that Deb and I were talking about, that's on our team website. So you go into marketing, click on letter, you get that letter there. But Miles, I definitely want you to set up a one-on-one with me. I need to coach you through all this, and I'll show you how to do this. So you don't have to write the letter. It's already done for you. So how many letters do you send, Miles? What is the difference between KV Core and lead flow? So Nicole, it's actually real eFlow. So real eFlow is a lead source. That's where you go in and you type in certain criteria. Like, so you're now Nicole, going to have more calls. Remember, the first call was like a summary call, like a welcome aboard call. Now we're going to go into more details. And one of those details is helping you identify who's likely interested in selling in your zip code by drilling down. It's 21, 22 different criteria. Okay. That's your lead sourcing. Then those are the people that you market to. And KV Core is your database where you house those people in records, and it has automated marketing campaigns already to go for you. Plus some ones, we have team campaigns that we've loaded into KV Core. Everybody on the team can clone those campaigns, and it literally copies a campaign directly into your own KV Core account. And you just use it. It's totally automated. So 2 parts. ReallyFlow is the source of leads. KV Core allows you to maintain communication with them and market to those people. So great question, by the way. See, Chitra, are there phone numbers and emails through ReallyFlow or only addresses with other criteria? So it's just the emails, Chitra. And then what we do is we don't use the skip tracing on ReallyFlow. It's just too expensive. Plus, I think they only give you like it's you pay per number per email or something like that. We have a contractor in Pakistan, Ansa Khalil, and all you do is you send her your file from that you got from ReliefFlow, and she'll go through and give you all the phone numbers and emails associated with each record. And it's like 5 cents per record. So for 20 people, you're going to spend whatever that is, $10 or something. Um, so or sorry, $1. Sorry. So, it's very inexpensive with her, and we ignore the landlines and we focus only on the cell numbers. Um, so that's how we get the phone numbers and emails. You see, Gary has them already working page there. They are one page. Oh, thanks, Kay.
I was
Yep.
trying to say that you had the letters already written.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. So Chitra, I'm not with EXP, only Center for, so then what, Chitra, what you would do is, you still have access to the team resources, right? You got the letter and everything. That part you can do. As far as loading to your database, you have to use, well, when I was there, they just rolled out command, but we had to have a separate email system. So hopefully they've improved that, because back then they didn't make a lot of us team leaders happy with that. But whatever CRM you're using, Chitra, you would load those records to your CRM. And if you want to, when you set up a call with me, I can have you log in and I'll have you share your screen, and we'll see if we can figure out how to do that.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And Karen, oh, thanks, Karen. Karen answered the question too. Miles, Nicole, Chitra. Okay. So Debbie, I think you have another section to go through. Is that right?
No, that's actually, no, that's all the material that I
Oh,
had.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, that was great. We're actually doing good on time too. So Angela and Chitra, you'll have to take the records from ReliefFlow. You can still use the team marketing because you have access to that. It's called Silver Plus. But as far as your CRM, you would have to use whatever. So Angela, Angela, what CRM are you using? If you don't mind me asking.
It's on command.
Did they add the email component to that
Yes,
eventually? Oh,
yes.
thank goodness. Okay. Yeah, when they first rolled it out, it was, for the teams at least, it was a kind of a nightmare. But so Chitra, you would do the same thing then, as long as you're using command. If other people sometimes will use Top Producer and things like that. Top Producer is another great CRM. So, yep. Okay. Okay, guys, any other questions? I know we're at the top of the hour, but I always like to stay on to answer Q&A for you guys if you'd like to for a while. I mean, and while Deb's here, guys, I would
Yeah,
pick her brain,
yes, I love her question for being on a booth about like, do you know how my marketing works? And then clearly it's leading them to say no, which then says, okay, I'm gonna. So do you have another list of like on top of your head of your favorite leading questions, and how did you come up with them? Or was it just like over the years of trial and error?
Just very simple questions. I worked for, I used to go to expos, big expos, working for a marketing company, and that's where I got that really was, I'd say, are you familiar with our product line? This was a like spa product line. Are you familiar with our product line? The answer is always no. So that gives you the opportunity to bring people in, and it's, another thing that I've done is just say, are you thinking about selling your house? And, what I found actually at one of the shows that I went to was someone might say no, but then I'd say, well, are you thinking, then I would say, have follow-up questions. Do you think you might want to sell it in 6 months? No. Do you think a year? No. How about 2 years? Well, maybe, and then the other thing that happened was that they thought they had an investment, reminded them that they had an investment property. And I had someone who said, actually, I have a farm that I want to sell, so it's, just being in front of them and drilling down a little bit, going 3 deep, like they say, asking more questions will bring different answers. So, I mean, I would just say anything that's just something very simple where if they say no, it's fine, because you can move on from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Deb, Miles has another question here, in the chat. Hey, Deborah, what should I be doing as a new agent every day if that be cold calling to get some practice? But two questions. The first part is, what should he be doing as a new agent every day?
Well, what should he be doing? Well, obviously looking for business, every day.
Mhm.
So however your I don't know what your comfort level is. Some people are fine calling expireds and for sale by owner. And I mean, I find, I'm very comfortable with for sale by owner. I've sold a lot of that. And I just find like for sale by owner to me, when I see that sign, it says, I need a real estate agent. They don't even know they need a real estate agent yet, but they will. I mean, the statistic is so high that they're going to sell. And the thing is that they think they're gonna make more money as a for sale by owner. If you can show them that, like, for example, I've sold houses over asking, considerably over asking sometimes, so that it actually pays my commission. And so that's one thing. And getting in front, even just saying, well, I'd like to see your house. I may have a customer. I sell for sale by owners to my buyers. Not lying, not saying I have a customer, because that's a very bad way to start out. But saying, I may have a customer, I need to see your house. Once I'm inside, I can give them, I can give them a market update. I can show them the marketing that I do. I mean, I have a really good photographer, and each house gets its own website. And I can show, and that, I mean, it's really impressive looking, and they want that. It's not like taking photos with your iPhone.
Mhm.
So just being, getting in front of people. And even if you're not comfortable with the cold calling part, you can always go to, talk to the people that are sitting next to your child's game about, are you thinking about selling? Do you know someone who's selling? And I haven't done this, but I've thought about when a child graduates from high school, that's a really good time to contact people. If your child's in high school and you have that list of the kids in that class, calling the parents, because you're going to find at least one, if not 10 parents that are moving out of the neighborhood because they've stayed there for the child.
Mhm. Yeah. Hey, Miles, make sure you set up, if you haven't already set up your uh, initial coaching call with me. Because we actually have a 90-day fast start program on the team. You have to be a team member for that. So if you're just in the Silver Plus program, the 90-day fast start won't mean anything because there's EXP specific things in there. But
If I can add,
Miles, yeah, but
oh,
Miles, I definitely would. Hang on one second. You definitely want to do the strategy calls, because I walk you through the steps that you take from day one, all the way to like what Deb's talking about. I mean, you'll get there. It's like sometimes feels like it's a little bit like the Swiss cheese approach, but there really is some science behind it and some logic behind it. Um, and I'd love to have you take the disc profile too. Um, it's on your EXP Enterprise, your back office. You can get it on your phone. It's an app, the Enterprise app you can put on your phone. And when you go into your, I think it's My Business, you'll see the disc profile. Hey, did anybody do the disc profile yet?
Yeah,
I think we
I've
brought
done
that
way
up.
back.
plenty of times.
Yeah,
Yeah, more
I
than
think it
once.
was last week or the week before we brought that up. I would do it. If it's been more than a year, I would do it. You'd be surprised at how you kind of change and over the years, So especially when crisis occurs. Crisis will cause your disc profile to adjust. Yeah.
I just
There's
wanted to
one
add,
other, oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I was just going to add for Miles too. Another thing you can do is um, pick a neighborhood and walk each day. Take 5 doors. Go to the door and ask them if they know of anybody who's thinking of selling their home. That's it.
That's a really good idea.
That's it. Just
I
ask.
also wanted
Don't
to
ask
say,
them if they're selling. Just say, do you know of anyone who's selling their,
Yeah.
looking to sell their home? And you might find a buyer. You might find a seller there.
there was one other thing I wanted to add, which I've been doing for the past 2 years, which is working with another agent, and even splitting things 50-50 with her. So, which is something I when I first started, I thought I just wouldn't want to do anything like that, but it's given me a lot. I mean, I'm more successful because of that.
Nice. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we can go and try to start to wrap this up, but if I would definitely recommend you can do the disc profile for free. I recommend doing it. It not just because it helps you understand your particular style of like communication and how what your default position is as far as are you a driver, an influencer, an analyst type person, or more of a support role type person. But also, more importantly, it helps you identify any other person you're speaking with, what their predominant profile is, and you can shift into their quadrant more easily, and it'll help you in business. And we already do it naturally. We just don't realize it. We do it in all relationships, family, friends, neighbors, people at the grocery store, business. It just all walks of life, all relationships. We already do that naturally. So it's not something you have to learn. It just helps you bring it into focus so you understand it more. And you can call on that ability to migrate or morph into someone else's quadrant, their predominant quadrant. Um, some of you are going to be well balanced. It's just some people are very prominent. Most agents are either DI or ID. That means you're a
Stop
driver
editing your
and an
photos like
influencer, right?
this.
Now, if you're more of an analyst type person, you're going to be more motivated and inspired by spreadsheets, charts, graphs, equations, formulas, things like that, case studies. And if you're a high S, best way for me to describe a high S person is someone who's in the parenting role. If you're actively parenting a child, okay, you're predominantly going to be in the S role. You might sometimes have to be driver if you've had children, you definitely got to be driver sometimes, and influencer and analyst and support role person. But for the most part, you're in a nurturing role as a parent, and that's what our high S's are known for. You know, they're very calm and stable, and sometimes they're hard to read. In fact, that's the one disc profile that people have the most difficulty. If you can't figure out what someone's disc profile is there's a really good chance they're an S, or possibly like an SC. So pretty interesting stuff, but it will definitely help you guys. It doesn't take that long to do it, and it's fun to do it too. So I recommend that. Um, okay, I can't think of anything else. If you guys have questions, I would definitely type them in now. And then Deb, any words of wisdom, final thoughts? I mean, maybe if you would you mind sharing maybe Deb, like what was a pivotal moment for you in real estate, whether it was here on the team or earlier on in your career that really helped you um, feel like you've got to your next level, like you're comfortable,
It's really hard for me to know the answer to that, but I'm just much more determined to succeed now, and because I know what I need to do. That's the thing is I think when you first start out, you're not even sure what to do. And even though people say put all your contacts in the CRM, but to me, if I'm not talking to a buyer or seller every day, I'm not going to meet my goals. And I have the goal of going at least 2 listing appointments a week. And sometimes I go more, sometimes I go less, but I have that goal. And if I'm not, so I look at it like, well, how many appointments do I have this week? And if I don't have the 2, then I better start working on getting the 2. So I think that helps.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's everybody comes from different backgrounds, different experiences. Some people, just like in any walk of life, whether you're playing basketball or you're a heart surgeon, some people are just born to do what they're doing. I wasn't one of those people. I was going to be an astronaut. I got close, but I never went up on a shuttle. I just got to go on the shuttles while they were on ground. But in any case, you know, it turns out I'm happy now with what I'm doing. And as a kid, I used to draw houses when I was 8 years old. My grandfather taught me how to actually design them by scale and using all the architectural techniques and tools and everything. My mom bought me a complete kit for Christmas when I was 8 years old. And I still do it today for fun. So I just didn't really hone into that early on. And my parents didn't either. They just wanted me to be an astronaut because there's a picture of me of 3 years old wearing a NASA outfit. you know, So, in any case, we all come from different walks of life. Some people are born with these natural skills naturally, and some we have to learn it. Like a lot of us, I had to learn these skills. I know Deb has a
Yeah.
teaching background, you know. So
I
yeah,
never thought about sales. I mean, it took
yeah,
me a lot. I think it probably took me longer to get into that mind. It's a mindset, really has something to do with mindset. I mean, I'm finding the same thing with losing weight is I'm thinking, I say to myself, you're thinking like, you need to think like a thin person. And then if I start like, I should eat this, I should eat that. I say to myself, you're thinking like a fat person. I mean, I'm not insulting myself, but it's the truth.
mhm, yeah,
It's the same thing with sales.
yeah, yeah. One of the best lessons I ever learned in life was to really watch what you say to yourself. When you're self-talk, because yourself is listening. You know,
Yeah.
you're programming yourself.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple. And I could go by all the science behind it, but I'm telling you, it's just really comes down to common sense. When you're talking, you're also listening. So make sure you're kind to yourself,
Yeah.
you know?
And
Okay.
and
Look,
don't think that you can't work with investors. I mean, don't think that you can't sell land. Don't think that you can't sell gas stations. You can. You just have to find the way to do it. It's all possible.
mhm, yeah. What's interesting about investors is I've had a million agents tell me they don't know anything about investing, so they can't do it. And I'm like, well, the investors couldn't invest either when they first started.
Yeah.
So best way to learn is remember this. This is a famous Zig Ziglar quote. If you just simply help enough other people get what they want, you'll really get plenty of what you want. So if you want to have more income, have more wealth, and have it be tied to real estate, if you want to own more real estate, help other people own more real estate because you're going to learn more from them in the field, practicing every day than you ever will from reading a book, you know?
Yeah.
And by the way, you'll have more consistent income that you can use to invest yourself. That's why the team was built. For that was the initial core mission. That was it. So you guys would have commission income, revenue share, stock ownership, and your own income from your own investments. That's a table. 4 legs is a very solid table. So yeah. Does this kind of talk help you guys? Is this in addition to the academics, is this, yeah, I need to hear it a lot. Another Zig Ziglar quote is, you know what, motivation is like bathing. You got to take a shower every now and then, and you got to get remotivated every now and then, you know? So, hey guys, would you mind giving Deb another big pat on the back and big thank you? I mean, she did this on her own, came up with the material.
We really appreciate it. It was great.
Yep.
Thanks.
Some
It-
unique ideas.
Yep. And I'm the lucky one because I get to watch all this stuff happen. When I meet with Deb and each of you, you're showing me what you're doing, telling me, I'm like, it's just fun. You make life fun. So thank you for doing what you're doing, you know? Thank you for participating in class, especially the guests. Um, Janai, we're always glad to see you too, and welcome aboard, Miles. And Nellie's good to see you. We don't see your picture, Nellie, but I appreciate you being on and sharing. Nellie, if there's anything you want to ask or a comment you want to make, this is an open forum. This class is, we don't. It's every Monday at 7. You can come anytime you want. We don't recruit anybody. We don't sell anything. We don't pitch. I mean, sometimes we have guest speakers on who do have a program, and we have to honor that, but they have to teach first. Then they can sell what they want. But in any case, come back again. We'd love to have you. Well, thanks, Nellie. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, well, we'll go and wrap this up. I appreciate you being on. I look forward to the one-on-ones. And next Monday night, another great teacher. I'm not going to mention his name, but his initials are Gary Wilson. So that he'll be on. I'll be on next. So next Monday night, guys, is all about really flow and how and how it interacts with your CRM. All right, really important. If you grasp that, you'll always have a flow, a funnel of business. Okay, we're gonna go dive deep. You can ask all the questions you want. I'm gonna have you guys create files while we're in class. You're gonna be on your own account, and I'm gonna have you create files. Okay, so it's gonna be a working session next Monday. So bring your guest. Bring your guest next Monday. Just share the link with them. That's all you got to do. Sound good? All right. Thanks again, Deb. And thanks you guys for participating. Have a good night. God bless you and your loved ones. And I'll see you next Monday and on our one-on-ones.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.